He is the master of all frogs, and his name is Frogs Master 595. Frogs Master 595. Frogs Master 595. Frogs Master 595. Hey everyone, this is Frogs Master 595. So, you know how I fixed Mort? And I said there were 4 that I fixed with the switch trick? Yeah, 1 was the caroling frog, 2 was Webster. I have the videos of them obviously uploaded, and you could see, did the switch trick with them. Webster was the hard one, caroling frog was pretty easy. And then, you know, Mort, he's the 3rd one I did the switch trick on, and he was pretty easy too, about just as hard as the caroling frog, basically. Maybe a little bit harder, because his button was kind of tight. But his zip tie wasn't that hard. A lot easier than Webster's zip tie. Well, this right here is the 4th one. This was the 4th one I needed to do the switch trick on. Now, 2 of those 4, you know, the caroling frog and Webster, you know, I just got them recently. And the caroling frog has probably had the switch problem for like a year or so. I don't know, because the seller said on that it didn't work. So as soon as I got it, I had to switch trick it. And that was the first item I ever did a switch trick on. It still didn't take that long. Still wasn't the hardest. Even though it was my first time, still. Webster was the hardest one, and, you know, he worked once, and then he stopped, and then I had to do his wires were tight, and I had to cut them, make them shorter, but still got Webster working. And Mort had been working for about a month, or a little bit longer than that. Yeah, it's a month. And then he, then his button wires got really bad, and then he stopped working completely. So, you know, he went good for about a month, Mort did, but then he started to stop, and then, you know, but he just got his switch trick recently, so he had not been doing anything for like 3 or 4 months, because I didn't feel like doing the switch trick thing yet. But, you know, now he's good, as I showed in the last video. But him right here, Frosty, I made a really old video of him. I'm not talking about the one where I sing his song and be weird. Not that one, but the older video. The video that's 2 years old. Yes, it's 2 years old. 2 years. And I think it's called My Broken Frosty. Yeah, it was because of the button. And I think even in that video I stated that it was the button, because I think I've known that it's been the button thing for like 3 years now, and he's been like this for about 4 or maybe 5. I think 4 though. So he's been, you know, not working because of those dumb wires being off the button for like 4 years. Basically 4 years. But I made the video, you know, 2 years ago, but he's been like this for like 4, maybe 3. But I know it's been more than 2, definitely more than 2, more than 3 really. Yeah, because he's been like this since 2015. But yeah, so he's been, you know, not working for a really long time. A really long time now. I mean, I guess not super long, not been a decade or anything, but still quite a long time for the other 3s. You know, they've not been broken like him for as long as, you know, him. Those ones, maybe just months. Well, at least with Mort, because the other 2, like I said, I got them fixed right on the days I both got them with Webster and the frog, you know. I did them on the same day I got them. And I got Webster a day after the frog, so yeah. But him, it's been like this for a long time. Been like this for years. But I was right when I got him opened up. It was the button. And there's his wires right there to show that I did it. It was a success, obviously. I mean, it would be. It's really easy. I mean, I've known it's still an easy thing. It's just I never felt like doing it because I don't like the skin thing. I don't like that being off. But here's the thing. You know how in the Mort video I said how Webster had a zip tie? Well, he did. He did have a zip tie, even though he had the 3 AA's. This Frosty, and oh yeah, it's this version, by the way, the G button version, the new Jemmy button version 1, so this is 2009 then. Yeah, this should be the 2009 one. I've always thought this one has been, because I don't have its box. I've not seen this guy's box in like 6 years or something. But yeah, so it is this button version. So it's not the 2008 one with that, but I don't know which one's more rare. That doesn't matter though. He takes 3 AA's, and the battery cover on him is white. It's not tan, it's white. That's why I'm pretty sure this is 2009. There were no screws. It was another zip tie. And his zip tie was harder. It wasn't as hard as Webster's, but it was harder than Mort's. Yeah, I had to get the big pliers for him. So I had to just bend that dumb cube part of the zip tie. I did get it off from that though. So yeah, actually I used small pliers actually. Big ones I actually used for the other two, Moore and Webster. For him I used small ones. It actually worked better than the big ones, surprisingly. Well, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. But I got it off. So now you know he doesn't have a zip tie now anymore. But when I took him off, in the back there, he actually has a lot of wires, like, all together. And it's on purpose. Like, I can tell it is, because they're, like, in a certain way wrapped around. But a lot of wires there. And the other things that I have opened up, the wires haven't been like that. But with this Frosty it is, and it's probably because of the 2 wires going through here to get to this. Actually, I don't know if there's one going through here, but there's definitely a wire going through here to make this light up. And some of these that have, where their lights have just stopped lighting up, that's probably because of this arm moving, making the wire in here start to not connect to this right. Yeah, that's probably why some of them stopped lighting up, but this one still does when I got him good. But there's just a lot of wires back there. It wasn't here, but it was back there. And his button wires went like over here. They're white, as you can see. But when I pulled those 2 little wires, they came right off. Like, I didn't have to pull. I just grabbed them and then pushed them out, and they were off. Like, completely off. Like, there was no metal. It was just the 2 little things. I mean, just by that, I wasn't pulling at all. I wasn't putting any force. I was just getting them and then just pulling them out. Just getting them out, really. Because I wasn't pulling at all, really. They just came right off. I didn't need to do anything. It wasn't hard at all. It was the most loose wires out of the 4 that I've done the switch trick on. His were definitely the most loose, which makes sense because he's had this problem for the longest time. Now, this guy used to be at a different house. He wasn't always here. And, you know, he wasn't always here. So, he was at the same house where that turbo rig was, and, my turbo rig I have now, and a couple other items. One of them, which I still have, a moose, and then there's another moose that I don't have now, because put it in the yard sale thing. But, yeah, when he was over at that house is when he actually started having the problem, and then he wouldn't work at all. Yeah, that happened there. And this guy was, like, gotten in 2009, because I remember in 2009, I saw him, and he was in this box, and he was all good, and moving perfectly, and everything was good. It was 2009, so, yeah, an item that still have, all the way from back then, not from eBay. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that for a little bit, but now I realize, So, yeah, but, those wires came off easily, then I just had to trim them so the metal would show. We all know that, and they got him working, he's good. Sometimes he moves, sometimes he doesn't. His gears are splitting. This arm moves, and you can hear the gears splitting really anywhere, no matter where you listen. The head does move when this is moving, obviously. This arm isn't snapped, but it doesn't really move, so I don't know what's up with that, but let me try to play him here. Yeah, it ain't working. A little bit weird. There. Okay. Yes, now it works. See, it stopped. Yeah. It was actually moving on the second day of him being good. Yeah. There he went for a second. I could help him, but his gears are definitely like right there. But he was moving without stopping for a little bit. But now I guess it's just completely done. When I first got him fixed and I tested him, he would not move at all. He would just like jolt for a second and stop. Like every time I played him. There we go. When I actually got the button itself out too. And I just threw that away. I don't know why, I just wanted to take it out. Some of the stuffing came out of the foot and I had to stuff it back in, so the foot actually looks better than what it used to. But, yeah. He's going. But he is really close to completely being split.
I'll be back on Christmas Day.
But he used to work perfectly, but he has gotten damaged. He has fallen off of things before. He has been grabbed by this leg a lot back in the time, like 2010. So that's probably how the thing happened. I always used to grab him by this leg. Not this one, but this one, of course. I'll do that. Of course, now grab him by the head. Easiest thing to do. But, yeah. See, there's what the battery cover looks like. No screws. It's no screws at all. It's not tan, it's white, so it's the 2009 one. Maybe it's 2010. I think it was 2009, though. In 2009, Jimmy did have this button. But not the 2008 one. And I don't know if this is rare, but it is working again, so that's good. I'll make a separate video with him, I guess, soon. But, I mean, he's working now, so that's good. And he also has like 3 tags, which is kind of weird, but he does. He's got like 3. 1 right there, and 2, and then 3. But, you know, he was the easiest one to fix out of these 4. He was the easiest one with the whole switch trick thing. This guy was the easiest. Frosty was not hard at all, because of how loose those wires were. The zip tie, I guess, well, it was still really easy. It's just it took a while, because the other things I used wouldn't make it come off. The zip tie's a little bit yellowed. But yeah, you know, Frosty's fixed now, so hooray, look at that. Okay, well, there you go. You saw him working and kind of moving, but really not because his gear's splitting. But yeah, peace.